So let me ask you a question. Do you believe that God cares about your well-being? Did you actually realise this is something which is demonstrable, that there's actually a lot of evidence to back up such a claim and such a belief that God does indeed care about all our well-being? Over the last couple of months, we've been thinking about a range of different aspects of our well-being: emotional, physical and spiritual. We thought about rest and the idea of Sabbath, of the power of living thankfully, and how having an open mindset, ready to learn new things, can make such a practical difference, and many other things besides too. I hope that as we've looked at all those things, you've seen that God hasn't left us without help or resources, if only we'd be prepared to give them a go. But I do think that at least one question remains. Probably lots of questions, but here's one. How can we learn to integrate those things into our lives? How can we apply them to busy, stressful lives? How can we apply it if we have a lot of spare time, or if we find it hard to break out of unhealthy routines that we may have been living with for years? Well, today I'm going to suggest two things which have been proven to work in the experience of many involved with the community of soul friends over this last couple of years. This now has people involved as far away as the Midlands and Cumbria, who are using and benefiting from these resources. In essence, we're talking about a two-pronged resource, which is all about every one of us, yes, even you, developing a rhythm in life which is both energizing and freeing. Energizing and freeing. One of these prongs is developing a simple personal way of life, and this is an idea which goes back, way back to ancient times. Something which will change and develop as our lives and circumstances change over time. The other prong takes its cue from how Jesus did things, in how he invested time in people. It's all about how relationship is a key factor in our personal and in our spiritual growth. We call this soul friendship. We've made two short videos very recently which introduce these two key aspects. They're both very visual, and they're aimed at helping you understand the principles rather than giving you a lot of information and a lot of detail. So, to begin with, what is a way of life? So a personal way of life then is something which can be a support for the whole of life, focusing on those 5 waymarks. We take a good look at our lives, at the good things and at perhaps the harmful things. Things like time for rest, for family, for hobbies, for prayer, for work, for serving other people, and so on. And using that simple 5-point waymark structure, we can set achievable goals for our lives at this time. And then bit by bit, slowly, at our pace, implement them. For many of us, developing and continuing to reflect on a way of life is something that we're just going to need some help with. We need someone to be journeying alongside us. This is where the idea of a soul friend comes in. So the Christian faith, in fact life in general, is meant to be lived in community, in relationship with others. As Jesus was intentional about time with his 12 disciples, and especially the trio of Peter, James and John, so we as his followers seek to follow his examples. Soul friends are one way that we can support one another, life on life as it were, through good times and through bad times. Put a soul friend together with developing a way of life, and then you have something with the potential to actually set us free to truly live, to live free from the many pressures in life which seek to control us, and we all have them. Free from unhelpful habits that we may not even know that we have, but that drag us down. Free to live the balanced life that Jesus always meant for us to have. So give it a try. Go to the website, download the Way of Life outline and try to apply it to your life as it truly is right now. There are copies of all these things in our church buildings when they're more accessible too. You'll be able to pick them up from there. So, do you have the courage to step out and try something new? Something which can impact the whole of your life for the better. As we move gradually into a post-pandemic world, may you find a new, brighter, fuller and God-focused you emerging as you explore these resources which are all about new life. So go on, take heart and take courage. God really does care about your well-being, and he wants to lead you into that new life, hand in hand. That hand of God is outstretched to you afresh today. Why not take it?